It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, YouTube. How's your sex life?
From the old movies of 30 years ago and beyond,
to the world of the new films of the last 30 years.
To the movies that are now playing, this is Old, New, and Now Playing. And now, here's your host, Will Robinson Smith.
Hello and welcome to Old, New, and Now Playing, your time machine through the world of movies. I'm your host, Will Robinson Smith. Thank you so much for joining me today. And you know those films that you don't necessarily know that you want until you see that they're in production or you see a trailer for them? Well, this was that film for me. I was a big fan of The Room when I was in college, and well, we'll get to all of that later. For now, you know, you don't even need plastic spoons for this movie. You can just sit back, relax, and... Oh, hi, Dougie. The Disaster Artist is the latest directorial venture by James Franco, who also stars in the film as Tommy Wiseau. The film is based on the book of the same name and was adopted by Scott Neustadter and Michael H. Weber, the duo behind 500 Days of Summer, The Spectacular Now, and The Fault in Our Stars. The story is about the making of The Room, a movie touted as one of the best, worst films of all time. The Disaster Artist follows the relationship of Tommy Wiseau, the man behind The Room, and his friend and co-star Greg Sestero, who's played by Dave Franco. The cast also includes frequent Franco collaborator Seth Rogen, as well as Alison Brie, Ari Grainer, Zac Efron, and Paul Scheer. So I was hopeful for this movie, but I didn't really quite know what to expect. But I actually had a lot of fun coming out of it, and I think, as weird as this is to say, I think what actually got me to where I am now in liking this movie was, in part, the characters and the writing. As I mentioned, James Franco not only directed this movie, but stars as Tommy Wiseau. And as strange a person as the real Tommy is, Franco doesn't play a caricature of him. Franco really tries to own the oddities of Wiseau and wears that in a very matter-of-fact manner. He's never not strange, obviously, but you do empathize with him and how he wants to succeed in the movie business. Is he kind of a creepy guy at points? Well, yeah. But there's something endearing about his struggle, honestly. And part of the reason that James' performance works as well as it does, I believe, is due in part to his on-screen chemistry with his brother, Dave Franco. Considering how logical it would be to have them together, this is actually the first time the Franco brothers have appeared on screen together. Despite that, though, they really play nicely off one another. Generally speaking, I've liked James more than Dave in past projects, but I thought Dave did a really good job here. He provided a nice anchor to ground the absurdity of the Tommy character, and the two created a believable friendship. And while I've seen The Room probably enough times to find at least most of the Easter eggs that are sprinkled throughout, this is actually a movie that can be enjoyed by people who have never seen The Room, and credit for that has to go to the screenwriters. One of the most fascinating parts about this film is that the screenwriters, Scott Neustadter and Michael H. Weber, were brought onto the project at the request of James Franco without either of them having ever seen The Room.
Leave your stupid comments in your pocket.
In an interview with Cleveland.com, they said they held off on watching the film that inspired the book, The Disaster Artist, until they had penned their first draft of the screenplay.
What are you, nuts?
Weber told the publication, "We wanted the movie to play for fans of The Room so the superfans would enjoy it. But for people who have never seen The Room, The Disaster Artist has to work for them too." And that's why I think I like the film so much. I mean, The Room itself is a terrible movie, but you love it for that. It's a great experience, especially if you can go watch it in an auditorium with a lot of people that are doing all the crazy things throughout the film. It's sort of like a Rocky Horror experience in that kind of way, but because The Disaster Artist doesn't just appeal to fans like me, you actually get a really rich story. Overall, this movie is basically what I hoped it would be. It's a funny depiction of the friendship that led to an infamously horrible movie that had a lot of heart to it. If I had any qualms with it, it's only that I wish we had gotten some more answers about Tommy himself and why certain things happen in The Room. Like, what's the deal with the cancer scene? I mean, they make fun of it in the movie, but we don't get any explanation for it. Why, Tommy, why?
You gotta tear me apart!
I give The Disaster Artist an 8.5 out of 10. I had fun with this one, and whether or not you've seen The Room, I think you'll appreciate this movie. Plus, the nominations for the Screen Actor Guild Awards came out recently, and James Franco picked up a nomination for his portrayal of Tommy, and that's on top of his Golden Globe nomination. Oscars, perhaps? So those are my thoughts on The Disaster Artist. When you've had a chance to see the movie, I want to know what you thought about it, and what's another movie that you'd like to see, the behind the scenes kind of a biopic on how that movie was made. Let me know in the comments section below. And with that, that will do for this episode of Old, New, and Now Playing. If you enjoyed this review, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, well, just go ahead and do that so you can keep up to date with all the movie reviews, trailer reactions, other things that are coming up on this channel in the future. And Star Wars The Last Jedi is right around the corner. I'm excited, I've got my tickets already, and I can't wait to talk with you all about that very, very soon. So stay tuned for that video. Thank you so much as always for watching, and I will see you next time.